I know that feeling, the kind that sets your nerves on fire where you can't sit still, can't think straight. That was me today, pacing my little house in Portland, heart thumping like a drum. My nephew Ethan, 24, now a college kid from Boston, was finally coming to visit. I'd been counting the days, ticking them off like a prisoner awaiting release. He's a good kid, but he's across the country living with his folks, and I don't get to see him much. Today, though, today was mine. I fluffed pillows that didn't need fluffing, wiped the kitchen counter for the third time, making sure everything was just so. Then the doorbell sang out sharp and clear. I nearly tripped over myself getting to the door, but when I swung it open, there was Ethan, and beside him another guy about his age standing there awkward like he wasn't sure he belonged. Tall, dark-skinned, with a shy smile that could melt ice. Auntie Ethan said, rubbing the back of his neck like he does when he's nervous. "This is my friend Malik. I brought him along. Hope that's okay." I blinked, caught off guard, but I flashed a smile. "Sure, it's fine. Come on in, both of you." They stepped inside, and Ethan kept talking, rambling like he does when he's trying to fill the silence. Malik's my roommate at school. His parents are splitting up, and he didn't have anywhere to go this summer. I figured instead of him moping around campus, he could come here. If that's cool with you. I laughed. "Sweetheart, I live alone. Two's a hell of a lot livelier than one, and I'm not about to let anyone's summer go to ruin if I can help it. You're both welcome here." Malik smiled, his tension easing just a bit. "Thank you, ma'am," he said, voice soft as velvet. "Call me Evelyn," I told him. "None of that ma'am nonsense. Now you boys hungry because I've cooked enough to feed an army as usual." Lunch was perfect, my kind of classic. I'd slow-roasted a pork loin, mashed potatoes, smooth as silk with gravy so rich it could make you cry. And of course, my famous apple pie cooling on the counter, the kind that could bring a grown man to his knees. We sat around my small dining table, the three of us talking easy like old friends. Lord Ethan wouldn't shut up about Malik. "You won't believe this guy, Auntie," he said, pointing a fork loaded with mashed potatoes at him. "Every time we go out, women swarm him. It's ridiculous. He's like a magnet for people. I hate him for it." He grinned, clearly joking, but Malik just chuckled and shook his head. "Can't help being charming," he said, flashing a smile that could light up the whole damn house. And I noticed, God, did I notice how true that was. Malik had this quiet confidence, not cocky, just natural, like he was born with it. His voice low and warm like a late-night radio host you'd stay up for. His face, I swear, could have been on a movie screen, jawline sharp enough to cut glass skin a rich, flawless brown. And those lips full soft, the kind that make you forget your own name. I caught myself staring, my jaw damn near on the floor, lost in him. Malik must have noticed because he cleared his throat, snapping me out of it. "Oh," I stammered, fumbling for words. "I was just thinking about what to cook for you boys tonight." Ethan gave me a look like I'd sprouted horns, but thank God he let it slide. Malik just chuckled, and I tried to shake off the strange spell I'd fallen under. After lunch, we moved to the front porch, sipping iced coffee, the sun warming our skin. My lawn was a mess, overgrown, begging for a trim. Malik glanced around, grinning. "Miss Evelyn, we've got to tame that jungle out there. It's getting wild." I nearly choked on my coffee. "Excuse me?" He laughed, raising his hands. "I mean the lawn. Look at it, grass everywhere. Why don't Ethan and I take care of it for you?" "Oh," I said, my cheeks burning. "The lawn." "Right, if you boys don't mind." "Not at all," Ethan said, already heading for the tool shed. They got to work, and I stood there watching. Malik laughed, showing Ethan how to handle the trimmer, right, both of them so full of life. Ethan hacked at the hedges like he was fighting a war, muttering about how I'd let them get so out of hand. Malik, though, was calm-focused, pushing the old mower across the yard. His white t-shirt clung to him as sweat soaked through, and the way his muscles moved lean, powerful, graceful caught me off guard. Broad shoulders, slim frame, he could have been on a magazine cover without trying. I sat on the porch, fanning myself, coffee in hand, staring like some lovesick teenager. My heart was pounding not just with admiration, but something deeper, something dangerous I couldn't name. It made no sense. I'm 69 for God's sake. Been through a marriage, a divorce, raised kids, now grandkids. But Malik's presence stirred something I thought was long dead. Was it his charm, his confidence, or was it just that I'd been alone too damn long? When my husband walked out 10 years ago, I thought I'd never feel like myself again. And I didn't, not really. I'd settled into a quiet life, but loneliness has a way of creeping up, sinking its claws into you, making you ache for connection, for something, anything. I took a deep breath, tried to shake it off. This wasn't about me. I was just happy to have company, to feel the energy of youth in my home, my yard. Malik paused, wiping his brow, and flashed me that easy smile. "Miss Evelyn, you doing all right?" "Oh, I'm fine," I said European quickly, sitting up straighter. "You boys are doing a hell of a job out there. Maybe I should hire you full-time." He laughed, a warm, rich sound that sent a shiver through me. "Don't tempt me. I might take you up on that." I smiled back, praying he couldn't see through me. When they finished, Malik walked over, wiping his brow, his shirt clinging to every muscle. "Miss Evelyn," he said, that playful grin flashing, "taming your jungle was fun. Call me when it grows back." I blinked, caught by the way he said it, like there was something more behind his words. My face burned, and before I could stop myself, I blurted, "It's been years since anyone's tended my garden. Nice to have someone around." The second it left my mouth, I wanted to kick myself. What was I thinking? But Malik just chuckled, his laugh warm and clear, and it only made me more flustered. Trying to recover, I cleared my throat. "Why don't you clean up? You must feel sticky after all that work." "Thanks, I appreciate it," he said, looking genuinely grateful. I showed him to the bathroom, explained the tricky old knob for the shower. "It's finicky," I said. "Just nudge it gently or it'll stick." He nodded, gave me a soft smile. "Got it. Thanks again." I left him to grab clothes from his bag, and soon I heard the water running. But instead of walking away, I lingered outside the door. My mind wandered where it shouldn't. I could picture him under the spray water, glistening on smooth skin, strong hands running through his hair. I shook my head, trying to snap out of it. "Get a grip, Evelyn. He's a guest and you're being ridiculous." Just then, Ethan called from the living room, nearly making me jump out of my skin. "Auntie, come see the lawn." Relieved for the distraction, I hurried out and found him standing proud in the front yard. The grass was neat, the hedges sculpted perfect, like something out of a home makeover show. "Wow, Ethan, I can't believe it," I said, clapping my hands. "You and Malik went all out. This deserves a standing ovation." He grinned, and I pulled a crisp $100 bill from my pocket, handing it to him. "What's this for?" he asked, eyebrow raised. "Call it a tip?" I winked. "Like when you were a kid and I'd slip you pocket money for chores." He laughed, taking the bill. "God, that brings back memories. Thanks, Auntie." Back inside, Malik emerged from his shower, his neatly braided hair still damp, looking even more striking than before. He glowed like a billboard for confidence and vitality. His fresh t-shirt hugged his toned frame, doing me no favors. My chest fluttered and I scolded myself. "Evelyn, what the hell are you doing? You're 69. I smiled politely, excused myself while they settled on the couch laughing, swapping college stories. Their energy filled my quiet house with a life I hadn't felt in years. I slipped into my bedroom, closed the door softly. My heart raced, and I didn't know why. I caught my reflection in the mirror and stared. "Evelyn, what are you doing?" I whispered. But the thoughts wouldn't stop. What would it be like to have someone like Malik in my life, to feel that warmth, that connection again? I pictured him standing here, his laugh echoing off the walls, and the thought set my cheeks ablaze. Then reality hit like a bucket of ice water. I looked closer at my reflection, wrinkles, gray hair, skin long past its youthful bounce. I sighed, shook my head. "Stop this nonsense," I told myself. "You're not some starry-eyed kid." But Malik had sparked something I thought was buried for good. After my husband left, I'd settled into a routine that felt safe. Breakfast with the girls at the diner, afternoons with the book, evenings talking to my cat like he'd answer back. It wasn't thrilling, but it was comfortable. Now something inside me felt different, alive, like I was waking from a long sleep. I wasn't just Evelyn, the lonely divorcee in a quiet house. I felt like a version of myself I hadn't seen in decades, one that wanted to live, to feel, to be something more. Sitting on my armchair, still in my floral blouse and slacks, I thought of Malik, his abs, his muscles rippling like they could bench a car. I wondered what it'd feel like if he held me, those strong arms pulling me close. My hands moved without me knowing, slipping where they shouldn't. It had been so long since anyone made me feel this way. It was wrong. I knew it. But my imagination was running wild and I couldn't stop it. I pictured him stepping in, catching me in this vulnerable state, and instead of it being strange, he just smiled, moved closer. But that's where I drew the line. I couldn't go there. Not really. So I took a deep breath, stood, smoothed my clothes. "Get it together, Evelyn," I told myself firmly. "You'll be the perfect hostess, and that's it." But when I stepped out to join them, my heart was pounding, my thoughts anything but pure. I wouldn't let these foolish feelings take over. I'd sit with the boys on the couch, keep it light, normal, remind myself I'm the adult here, the one who needs to keep things in check. "Can I join you two?" I asked, stepping into the living room. "Of course," Auntie Ethan said, scooting over. Malik gave me that crooked smile, the kind that made my stomach flip. "The more the merrier," he said, voice smooth as ever. I sat beside them as they launched into a story about a road trip last spring. Ethan was animated, recounting how Malik sweet-talked his way out of a speeding ticket. "Can you believe it? Cop pulls us over and I'm thinking we're done for." But Malik just smiles, starts talking, and the guy lets us go. Even wished us a safe trip. Malik shrugged, his grin widening. "What can I say? Some folks can't resist my charm." I raised an eyebrow, couldn't help myself. "I can't imagine there are many who could." He chuckled, leaning back on the couch. "You'd be surprised, Miss Evelyn. Not everyone's as easy to sway as you." My cheeks burned, but I forced a laugh to cover it. "Oh, please. If I were any easier, you'd have me mowing the lawn for you." Malik tilted his head, a playful glint in his eye. "Now that's a thought. I'd love to see you out there, Miss Evelyn. Maybe in some gardening gloves and nothing else." Ethan, sipping his soda, missed the subtext entirely. "Yeah, Auntie, you could have helped us out there." I shot Malik a look. Behave, but I couldn't stop myself. "All right, Malik, if I did, I might show you a thing or two about trimming bushes, right?" His laugh rang out warm and vibrant. I don't doubt it for a second. Ethan, oblivious, started on about another trip they'd planned. But Malik and I kept trading subtle jabs charged with something unspoken, like we were having a private conversation beneath the surface. "I can't believe you've been living here alone," Miss Evelyn Malik said at one point, his tone a shade too suggestive. "This house is too quiet for someone like you." I shot back, smiling sweetly. "But a little noise now and then's nice, keeps things lively." Ethan rambled on clueless, and I felt a strange mix of thrill and guilt. Part of me couldn't believe I was letting this happen. But another part, one I hadn't listened to in years, was savoring every second. Night fell, and I made sure their beds were ready, fresh sheets and all. "All right, boys," I said, finishing up. "Sleep well. Good night." Ethan gave me a tired smile. "Thanks, Auntie. Night." Malik nodded, flashing that signature grin. "Good night, Miss Evelyn." With that smile, I retreated to my room, hoping sleep would come. But as the hours dragged, I couldn't shake the restlessness clawing at me. My mind wouldn't quit, no matter how I tried to tell myself I was overthinking. The house was silent now, the day's lively chatter replaced by a stillness that made my unease worse. I paced my room, my slippers barely whispering on the hardwood. Finally, I couldn't take it. I stepped out, telling myself I'd grab water or check the thermostat. The lights were off, the house wrapped in that quiet, only a sleeping home knows. I passed Ethan's room first, hearing his steady breathing. Then I stopped outside Malik's. The door was ajar, a sliver of light spilling into the hall. Something pushed me, I don't know what, and I eased the door open just enough to peek inside. There he was, sitting on the bed, laptop on his knees. Shirtless, wearing only gray sweatpants slung low on his hips. The screen's glow lit his face, and for a moment I just stood there frozen. When he noticed me, he nearly jumped, slamming the laptop shut like I'd caught him red-handed. "Oh, Miss Evelyn, you scared me," he stammered, clearly rattled. "I'm so sorry," I said, just as flustered. "I didn't mean to startle you, just checking in." No, it's fine," he said, voice shaky. "I was just watching a horror flick. Got me a little jumpy is all." I raised an eyebrow, skeptical. His reaction didn't scream horror movie, but I played along. "Horror movie, huh? Which one?" He hesitated, scrambling for an answer. The Conjuring 2. "I think." I bit back a laugh, crossed my arms. "Good choice. Maybe I should join you. It's been a while since I've had a good scare." His eyes widened, but he nodded, scooting over. "All right, Miss Evelyn, hop on." I slid onto the bed beside him, my heart pounding. On the surface, it was innocent, but it felt anything but. He opened Netflix, scrolled through horror titles, landing on a newer one I hadn't seen. "This one's supposed to be creepy," he said, hitting play. As the movie started, we sat close, the laptop's hum filling the room. The screen's flickering light danced across his features, highlighting that sharp jaw, the curve of his lips. I tried focusing on the film, but my thoughts drifted. This was the most thrilling thing I'd done in years, and I didn't know how to feel about it. As we watched, the tension in the room built with every passing second. Horror movies don't usually get to me. I've lived alone in this creaky old house for years, unbothered by its groans. But this film had something. A sudden jump scare caught me off guard, and before I knew it, I was pressed against Malik, my face buried in his chest. Pure reflex, a moment of weakness. When I realized what I'd done, I pulled back, embarrassment flooding me. "Sorry, just the movie," I mumbled, trying to laugh it off. Malik chuckled softly. "No need to apologize. It's just a movie, Miss Evelyn." His voice was warm, reassuring, and he smiled gently. Without hesitation, he slipped an arm around my shoulders. "Don't worry, I got you." I leaned into him, his warmth a surprising comfort. For a moment, it reminded me of nights with my husband curled up watching TV. But those memories soured, tainted by how he left me for someone younger, someone not me. I tried to push the thought away, but it lingered, a dull ache in my chest. Then I felt it, a pull, like my body was moving on its own. Before I could process, I leaned in and kissed him. Malik froze, startled, his body tensing. But then, a heartbeat later, he kissed me back. His lips, soft, gentle. The moment stretched, our breaths mingling in the dim room. When I pulled away, I was already apologizing. "I'm so sorry, Malik. I don't know what came over me. I shouldn't have..." He stopped me, a finger on my lips, whispering, "Shh, don't apologize. I've felt it since I walked into this house. There's something about you, Miss Evelyn. I can't explain it." We lay there, eyes locked, time stretching endlessly, until Malik reached for me, his gaze asking permission. I nodded, and he leaned in. I felt the ache of longing buried under years of loneliness and duty. Next thing I knew, we were lost in each other, the cool air sharp against our skin. When he took my hand, guiding it, I realized what I'd been missing. The anticipation was almost unbearable. What followed shook the old house to its bones, a raw, untamed passion I hadn't felt in years. But doubt crept in. Was this a mistake? Would tomorrow bring regret, or was this the start of something new? For now, all I could do was hold him close, feel his heartbeat against mine as we explored this dangerous, beautiful connection.